So there is that drawback. After we beat Needleman, though, we will get what I think is the best innovation in Mega Man 3. Like, Mega Man 2's best innovation as far as making the game more accessible and making it so the player can kind of set his own pace was the energy tank. The energy tanks went a long way. And in Mega Man 3, you can carry a lot more of them. You can carry 9 of them. And there's a really easy code you can put in to start the game with 9 energy tanks if you want. You put in the code A6 red, you put a red dot and A6 on the little password grid, and you start with 9 energy tanks. And as a kid, we would do that, you know. But having 9 energy tanks isn't really an innovation. It's just like an improvement on an old innovation, on something old. What Mega Man 3 added was the rush transformations. Mega Man 2, he has his utility items, but the utility items are these cold, clinical, metallic, mechanical little things. In this game, he has Rush, and Rush is an actual character. His little pet robot dog. Oh, isn't he cute? But after you fight Needleman, you get the Rush Jets, which is wonderful. Rush Jet in this game, some people say he's a little broken. I don't agree that he's broken. I think he's as powerful as he needs to be, because, I mean, there's something broken about him. There is one broken aspect to it that I consider to be a bug that could have been fixed, but if that bug had been fixed, Rush Jet in this game would have been perfect. In future Mega Man titles, the way Rush Jet works, starting with Mega Man 4 and onward, is it works like the Item 2 does in Mega Man 2. You put the little platform in front of you, you jump on, and it automatically drags you forward. But in Mega Man 3, it's just a platform you stand on, and you can ride him around the screen wherever you want to go. So, he doesn't really have enough energy for you to be able to use Rush Jet through every single screen in the game. He's not so broken you can skip the whole game, but he's just broken enough that you can skip any screen you want. If there's 1 or 2 screens in each level that's giving you big problems, you Rush Jet past them. And it's such a brilliant idea. It lets the players skip the parts of the game that they are frustrated with, so they can get to the parts of the game that are more fun. And I think future Mega Man games, in nerfing the Rush Jet, drawing him back a little bit, really lost something, in my opinion, by turning him into just a tool that you basically use in predefined situations. The other interesting thing about Mega Man 3, when you compare to later games in the series, is Mega Man 1 had a boss order. There were 6 Robot Masters, and each Robot Master had exactly 1 weakness, so there was like a daisy chain through the 6. And Mega Man 2 works the same way. There's 8 Robot Masters, and each one tentatively has 1, like, actual weakness, but Metal Blade works so well on so many of them that Metal Blade is like the de facto weakness for most of the Robot Masters in that game. Mega Man 4, 5, and 6 have very clearly defined daisy chains that we're not going to deviate from, probably. But Mega Man 3 stands alone because it doesn't have an 8 robot daisy chain. It has 2 chains. One with 3 Robot Masters that we just saw, that go Snake, Gemini, Needle. And then one with the other 5. So you have to kill 2 of them with the Mega Buster. As a kid, I never knew that. I assumed it had an 8 robot daisy chain. And that the Needle Cannon was Spark Man's weakness. I always used to kill Spark Man with the Needle Cannon because that's just the next place you go in the chain. And so when we get to the refights, I would use the Shadow Blade against Snake Man, because that's just that's his place in the chain. How it actually works, though, is there just happens to be 2 really easy Robot Masters that you can kill really easily with the arm cannon. Oh, I knew I wasn't going to make that jump. I knew it, and I tried it anyway. Yeah, they're just... Snake Man and Spark Man are both so easy that I played the game for years, never realizing I wasn't using the appropriate weakness. In reality, you're supposed to use Shadow Blade against Spark Man and Needle Cannon against Snake Man to complete those 2 sets of... those, like, 2 little daisy chains. I deserved that. I deserved every ounce of that. Rush Jet's great, but he's got to land on solid ground so you can use him. Anyway, I'm going to use the Needle Cannon against Sparkman here, just out of habit. It's not his weakness, but it kills him really fast. You can kill him just as quickly with just the Arm Cannon, but like I said, these are childhood strats. This is how I know to play the game. So here's the buggy bit of Rush Jet. It only drains his energy while you're standing on him. So if you jump constantly like this, it drains his energy a lot slower. So you still can't use it infinitely, but you can drag his bar out a lot longer than you're really supposed to be able to. If they fix that and he was drained for as long as he was out, not as long as you were in contact with him, like I said, I think Rush Jet would be perfect. And it's not that Needle Cannon's not his weakness. It does pretty good damage against him. Each needle's doing 2 bars, and they come out super fast. So as soon as his iframes are over with, you can pelt him with another needle. You know what I mean? That's not what it sounds like when you get pelted with a needle. That was more like a splat sound. That was like a hard, fleshy sound. I'm gonna emote a pretzel. Get equipped with Pretzel Cannon. Anyway. Now I'm going to tell you a little about how I was introduced to Mega Man 3 back in the day. My very first exposure to it. My cousin rented it. We were at Blockbuster picking out games, and I wanted to rent Shadowgate. Because I had just read about Shadowgate in Nintendo Power, and it sounded really cool. But he didn't want to rent Shadowgate. He wanted to rent Mega Man 3. Why did he want to rent Mega Man 3? Because he played Mega Man 2 and he thought it was the bee's knees. But he got to this part and got stuck. This is it. This is as far as he could get. He picked Hard Man off the menu because he said, I want to fight the hardest guy first. And then he got here and got stuck. Because he didn't know you could slide. So that was my first exposure to Mega Man 3. It was a stupid game for stupid people. And it wasn't Shadowgate, and you can't beat the hard level because there's a block you can't get through. That was my very first exposure to the game. A week later, or so, maybe 2 weeks, I was at my uncle's house again. This is my cousin that did this. At the time he lived with his parents, who were my uncles, obviously. And I had like $6. I think I recycled cans or something. I wasn't supposed to go to Hard Man, I was supposed to go to Magnet Man. I'm in the wrong friggin' level entirely. Alright, let's do it! Let's get stupid! Let's go! But yeah, I was back at my uncle's house, and I had like $6, and we were spending the night there. I don't remember why. We liked spending the night there, because they had cable and a swimming pool, and they had a Nintendo, so... But I had $6, because we used to recycle aluminum cans a lot. We'd go around the neighborhood and collect up all the cans and recycle them and give us a couple bucks, you know? And I was mad because my uncle wouldn't take me to the store to rent a game. And I said, I just want to go rent a game. I wanted to rent Shadowgate. I didn't get to play it last time. But I had $6 and I could rent it. I'm like, I want to go to Blockbuster. Will you drive me to Blockbuster? He's like, no, I'm not going to drive you to Blockbuster. And I was throwing a fit. And my cousin stopped into the house. Like, he wasn't home for the night. He was, like, coming home from work and changing before he went off to play D&D or something, probably. But, he was stopping in just for like 5 or 10 minutes to change his clothes. Because he used to work at this fast food chicken place, and he was always like really disgusting. And he asked why I was throwing a temple tantrum. My uncle's like, oh, he wants to go rent some game, but I'm not driving him to Blockbuster. And he's like, oh, he probably wants to rent that Mega Man game that I played. And I was like, no, I want to rent Shadowgate. It's so much cooler. And they didn't get it. I didn't get to rent Shadowgate. You know what I had to play? I had to play Track and Field. That's what we had to play, because that's what we had. There was Super Mario Brothers, there was Track and Field. I don't know what to use against Hard Man if you don't have the Magnet Missile, so we're just going to, yeah, I don't know. I know to stay against the wall when he fires. But this is going to take a minute, kids. I think it goes faster if you stay against the same wall, but... Oh, that might buy me some time, actually. Oh, but man. Now, eventually we did rent Shadowgate, and we were stuck on it for a long time. So... Looking back, he was probably right, and we would have had more fun if we had just played Mega Man 3. But... Oh! I wasn't close enough to the wall that time. If you're not close enough to the wall, they turn around... Ooh, that's a bad spot to be. I'm gonna use an E-Tank if I have to. Oh, you gotta be right up against the wall. Yeah, you know what? We're going to make sure we put this guy in his place. Why am I not moving? Oh my god. Oh my actual goodness. God! Oh, I played that so stupid. I played that so stupid. Let's try these other weapons, I guess. Let's see what we get. One. Nothing. 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 Alright. You gotta really make sure you don't leave the wall. You just want to turn around. That's it. If you leave the wall, the hard knuckles don't leave the screen. Oh, you know what? It's easier when you're jumping over the knuckles to jump back towards the wall. Then you don't have to be worry about being like pixel perfect when you turn around. Yeah, I'm gonna do it that way. Still gonna be a long fight though. Why am I not doing the thing that I said that I was gonna do? Come on, employ the strategy that you said you were going to employ, Mr. the Brickroad. We'll have the proper weapon when we do the hard man refight later. Ooh. We're gonna call these dumbass strats. These are the dumbass strats you have to do if you don't have the appropriate Mega Man weapon. We were supposed to do Magnet Man with Spark Shock, and then come and do Hard Man. Why did I pick Hard Man? I must have been talking about something important and had just the biggest brain fart. I remember thinking, because my cousin said, I want to fight the hardest guy first, so I picked Hard Man. And I was thinking, well, if he's the hardest guy to kill, how come he's not on top? How come he's not the top man? And I was serious, because I was a dumb kid and I didn't realize at the time, oh, he uses tops to attack you. That was a hard-fought victory, and I'm going to celebrate by putting another pretzel in my face. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. You know what? Magnet Man, you're last. And God, I love how his eyes circle around like that. That's great. Yeah. We're doing Magnet Man last now. Top Man is another candidate for easiest Robot Master in the game. Snake Man and Spark Man are both really, really easy, but Top Man is probably the easiest. Like, I know a lot of kids back in the day used to start with Top Man. Ugh. Oh, I should have... I was supposed to grab that ladder there and kill this Jones from the ladder. got so many little tiny things that I forget about when I replay these games. I've played them a million times over the years, but I don't play them nearly as often now as I used to. I don't think I've played Super Metroid once this whole year. I've played a lot of Metroid Randomizer this year. Or this past year, I should say. I don't think I played any in 2015, but I got really into it for a little while. But yeah, a playthrough of just Super Metroid, start to finish. It's been a long time. There's so many other games to play. As a kid, I owned 3 games. I had to play the same ones over and over, you know? That's just how it be. But now that I'm an adult, games cost $10, $15 on Steam, and people keep gifting me games to play. I never have any shortage of games to play. I don't know why I use Gemini Laser on that guy. I guess I just like the sound effect of the Gemini Laser. But you know, that's a valid reason, right? Oh, now I gotta get that health ball. I had a friend as a kid who swore up and down that the spikes in this stage were just broken glass. But they're clearly not. There's clearly like some kind of like biological spike being held in the glass containers of the walls of Top Man's level. And that's what those spikes are. But no, he insisted they were broken glass. I had some dumb friends when I was a kid. I've been talking a lot about friends that I had when I was a kid in this Let's Play, and I'm realizing now that quite a lot of them were dumb. Although no dumber than I was, I guess. Yeah, see, from here I can't slide. I'm too close to the door, and you can't slide through the door. Mega Man 4, I believe, lets you slide through the door, but there is one hilarious thing in Mega Man 4 you can't slide through that I will show off. In Skullman's level, make sure you remind me when I do Skullman's level, pause the video, go down, leave a furious comment. Brickroad, you're supposed to show us something really funny in Skullman's level. And then after I'm done recording the Let's Play, I will go back in time and read those comments, and then I'll know I'm supposed to do it. Uh-huh. I was just pausing for pretzel effect there. That pretzel was more difficult to swallow than the standard pretzel for some reason. Ah, Shadow Man. He was the bane of our existence for a long time as kids. We always had a lot of problems beating Shadow Man. Walk into my needles. Shadow Man's the hardest boss in Mega Man 3 by far, because he doesn't telegraph any of his attacks. His AI pattern is pretty easy to decipher. It's pretty easy to kind of break it down. And he only has a couple possible moves from any particular position, but he chooses those moves randomly and he doesn't telegraph them at all. As a result, it's very difficult to kill Shadow Man without taking a lot of damage. Because Sparkman is the first Robot Master on the select screen, and because those Eyeball Walker guys are the first monster you see in Sparkman's level, and because Mega Man 3 was the first Mega Man game I'd ever played, in my mind, I've kind of always considered those eyeball guys to be the Goombas of the Mega Man universe. They're not literally the Goombas. Obviously, the Mets are the Goombas of the Mega Man universe, but if you're a kid and the only Mega Man games you played are 3 and a little bit of 2, and you played 3 extensively first, you can see how I'd make that mistake. So the other reason Shadow Man is really difficult is look what his friggin' weakness is. It's a crapshoot whether we'll kill him or whether he'll drain all our top spin or what'll happen here. Nah, we got him. My goodness. When we were kids, we didn't know his weakness was top spin. We would just try to tank the damage and use up all the energy tanks. And you can't revisit stages in this game, which means you can't farm energy tanks. So we did the best we could with it. Shoutouts to A Cardboard Box for sponsoring this video, and to everyone who makes this channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.